All right, I'm heading out to fish, and as you can probably tell, it ain't exactly morning. Heading out for an afternoon trip. It is currently 3:01, so I don't have a whole lot of time to fish, but I am in desperate need of some fishing success today. It has been a lean stretch. Weather's not been good here in South Louisiana. We had about a week of very strong, unfishable east winds, followed by a lot of westerly winds. In the midst of that, I slipped out a few times, went out once, fished the power lines in western Lake Pontchartrain, skunk. Went to Lake Road, crabbing, pretty much a skunk. And then I went yesterday with my buddy C-Mac. We went to Old River trying to catch sac-a-lait, crappie, almost a skunk. Caught a few fish, but nothing to write home about. So today, I'm getting back to basics. Going to do what I love. Going to fish the marsh, see what I can find. Hopefully the tide is falling. That's kind of why I put up my trip until the afternoon. We'll see when we get there though. But it ain't all rainbows and butterflies today, that's for sure. Lots and lots of thunder showers around. I'm kind of trying to thread the needle here. We'll see if it works out. The way my luck has gone lately though, it probably won't. All right, I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but right there is a gigantic thunderstorm. It is popping lightning left and right. Unfortunately, it's right over the area that I did all the map study on that I wanted to fish. So I'm not getting there anytime soon. Plus I gotta cross a big lake to get there. No chance, not taking the risk. So I'm staying really close to the launch, just ducked into this little bayou here. Water in here looks actually pretty good. And actually where I stopped the boat, it's 7 feet. So there's definitely some depth in this bayou. So I'm gonna try and mine this real quick. Hopefully catch some red, some bass, maybe some holdover speckled trout, who knows? Maybe some flounder, that'd be great. But I'm gonna give it a whirl. Hopefully this storm goes away and we can cross to where we wanna fish, but I don't know, we'll see, fingers crossed. All right, I wanna show you something real quick. Look at this, 94-degree water, 94 degrees. It's been hot here in South Louisiana. So when you can't fish where you wanna fish, you better fish something you get confidence in. And you know, I got a lot of confidence in this Zimmer swimmer. I got that on a 4/0 extra wide gap hook under a 1/4 ounce tungsten bullet weight. Let's give that a whirl. Everything hits this, so make you get bites from absolutely anything. Now the water is definitely moving, but I have no idea if it's rising or falling. It should be falling, but I don't know. Tide should have switched by now. Most of the time I prefer fishing the marsh on a falling tide. Not always, but most of the time. Doing this style of fishing, definitely prefer a fall. Fish are much more predictable. Oh, someone just hit some bait up on that point. That's a good sign. Could have been a bass or a small trout. Or actually even could have been a flounder. Flounder will do that a lot. It's been a minute since I've caught a flounder. Definitely wouldn't mind catching one today. It's really breezy. I don't know how well you can tell, but it's blowing out of that storm. So I'm hoping once that storm dissipates, if it does dissipate, that the wind will kind of settle a little bit. All right, not even a hint of a bite on my Zimmer swimmer, so let's go to something fast moving. I got this green gizzard colored ATV crankbait. Let's see if we can get a reaction strike from something. Might be too grassy in here for this, but we'll see. Well, pretty grassy. With it being overcast and this kind of stained water, I can't see the edges of the grass at all. So just got to kind of gas on my casts. All right, nothing wants to bite in well, it's now 93.8 degree water. Fish our way out of this bayou, throw something different. Green Hornet Matrix Shad. Bait that produces a ton of fish for me. Ooh, there's a fish. Oh, he came off. Of course he did. It was a bass, I saw him. He smoked it. Oh, there's another one. There are a few fish at that Trenasse. There you go. Not big, but a fish at the start. Not big at all. That's what I mean about those fish getting predictable on a falling tide. Just hit every Trenasse mouth and sooner or later you're gonna catch some fish. Both those hits were ferocious. I mean, really, really good hits. Good to see it. Something will bite in 94 degree water. Look at the water ripping around that point. I don't know if you can see that. Like, that's prime. Definitely looks like a spot that should be holding some fish. Like, why would you not post up right there waiting for bait to get swept through? Man, the lightning continues to pop. Looking bleak for us fishing out where we wanted to fish. All right, the storms are still there. Looks like they kind of want to dissipate. I just looked at the radar, but it's 5 o'clock. I really can't run that way. I got to cross a big lake anyway. It's super windy. It's blowing like 20, so it's really not even an option. So I got to go the opposite way and go try and find some fish. Fish this little bayou, 2 bites, that's it. 2, I mean, not big bass. You're not going to catch big bass in the marshes this time of year, that's for sure. It's kind of just what you expect. But I'm going to go roll the other way, away from this storm, and go see if I can find something else. Still optimistic. We'll find out. All right, we made the move. Unfortunately, the water's not like great here. Definitely worse than what we left, for sure. So that's kind of the bad news. I mean, I guess the good news, if you want to strain your eyes and look for good news, is that the water temp is 2 degrees cooler. Actually, 1.5 degrees cooler. It's 92.5 in here. Really hard to believe it's that hot. I mean, we've definitely had a few hot days, without question, here in South Louisiana, but we haven't had heat like we had last summer. It was crazy hot. And yesterday did get up to triple digits, so that's probably why this water is so hot. And you know, you figure on a falling tide, areas like this are going to be receiving water from backwater ponds where the water's been sitting all day just baking. And I mean, it's cloudy now, but it was sunny all day before these storms all bubbled up. So what I'm fishing is the edge of a bayou. It's deep. It's 9.5 feet deep right here. And what I'm hoping is that some fish have retreated into that deeper water. They're just kind of holding along that ledge wall, ambushing bait. There is a pond at the back of this bayou. And if we make it that far, we'll work the mouth of that, see if anything's ambushing bait there. Well, never mind. I guess it took it a while to get acclimated. Temps now up to 93.8. Amazing, amazing. All right, I was running and came across these birds diving on who knows what. Maybe trout, probably gaff tops, but we got to take a look. Got to at least take a look. They are being pretty aggressive, and it's going to be a sizable little flock of birds. I got a Holy Jolly matrix shad under a Versamax bolt. Got that on a 16th ounce death grip jig head. Kind of my cork go-to. Just want to see if it's speckled trout. If it is, it's probably undersized trout. Might be some white trout in there too, though. Oh, there we go. Hasn't come up. Now it came up. Didn't look big. It was a speck, not a big one. Let's take a look right here. Oh, there we go. I don't know, feels, could be a keeper. He's definitely a speck. Yeah, I think he is a keeper. He sure is. That's a good trout. That's a real good trout. Now we just gotta hang here. All right, good fish. He's going in the box. Don't mind me, birds. Go ahead and do your thing. Oh, that didn't take long. Then he came back and I missed him again. I'm sure there's some guppies in the mix. Well, that first one we hooked was definitely a guppy. Yep, that was a guppy too. Oh, got him on the way in. That's a good trout. That's not a guppy. That's a good keeper trout. All right. All right. This is definitely unexpected for the day. That's why you got to keep your eyes peeled. Got a 14-inch trout. There he is. All right, another good one. Another good one. We'll see if we can get him in. And this super warm water, they're acting really crazy. Well, you know what? He's a throwback, I think. I don't think he's 13. I'm pretty sure he's over 12. We're gonna set him free. See if we can get another one. Since we know there are some bigger fish in the mix. There he is. All right, I don't think he's gonna make the cut. Nope, he's not. He will not. He's got a headache though. All right, the babies. This is what you'd expect to catch in inside waters this time of year. These birds are regrouping over there, but I just saw a shrimp pop up here. Right by that one bird. Can't really reach him. The lake that we're in is known as Lake Catherine. Locals know where this is. And this, typically, you wouldn't expect to have keeper trout in the month of July. Oh, look at that. The trout just smashed her shrimp right by that bird. We're gonna try and get back into school. The bird's relocated over here. I'll run there if I have to, but there's definitely still some around here. Keep seeing them pop on shrimp. Just because the birds moved doesn't mean the school did. What's interesting is this is the mouth of Unknown Pass, but we've got a falling tide that's going that way. You would think they'd be set up here if the tide were coming this way, but they are where they are. Can't complain about it. There's one. You gonna make the cut, buddy? I'm not sure. You don't feel all that big. You would have made last year's cut, just not this year's cut. Last year, 12-inch speckled trout were legal in Louisiana. This year, they're not. Man, these fish are hot. Absolutely hot. This year, the fish have to be 13 inches, and that one was not. He was between 12 and 13. There's a few off this way. They're kind of getting loose and a little bit less interested, although now they're starting to group up again. There's a bunch over here by the point. Which way do I go? Which way do I go? I'm gonna go with the bigger body of birds. All right, back in a second. I don't know if you can see that slick that just popped up. Definitely a bunch of feeding fish in here. That should be a fish right there. Yep, went down instantly. But not a keeper. Gotta weed through the babies. He's not a baby. He's maybe 12, maybe a little less. I guess he's a baby. I'd love to know if they're feeding on white shrimp or brown shrimp. Brown shrimp or the spring shrimp, white shrimp or the fall shrimp, essentially. And we're right here in the heart, in the middle of summer. I'm guessing it's whites, but I don't know. Could be browns. There he is. Are you gonna keep? I hope so. You don't feel like it though. No, you are not. When I was growing up, we used to call these cigar trout. About the size of a cigar. But believe me, when I was growing up, we kept every one. My grandfather would have shot me if I threw that fish back. That's gonna be a trout right there. Yep. Oh, goodness. I think you're gonna make the cut, buddy. I think you might be big enough. Maybe you just ate your Wheaties. Oh man, so close. Man, he's close. I don't know. Now we're gonna let him go. By the time we measure him, we'll be out the fish. Oh, that feels like a decent fish. I don't know, I've been wrong before. We'll see. He's starting to feel less like a decent fish. Oh, he's barely hooked, I know that. Yep, he got off. They are destroying this holy jolly. Now my bait is sliding down. You know it's crazy good action when your bait slides down a death grip. That bait is destroyed, it's torn up. Not big, but they're a blast. I'm not typically much of a bird fisherman, but when nature's gonna give you trout inside in the middle of summer, you gotta take it. My favorite way to target bird fish is with this Versamax bolt. But sometimes you can catch bigger fish by tight lining. So I'm gonna throw this green hornet. There he is. Man, these fish feel really nice when I first set the hook, and then they just kind of give up. Reveal themselves to be this size. I mean, through in its mouth. See, it feels like a big fish, or like a foul hooked one maybe. He hasn't come up yet. I'm thinking he's foul hooked. Fighting really weird. Yes, he is. He's foul hooked. He was impaled. Oh, goodness, I got smoked. Missed him. Look at the shrimp. It would suck to be a shrimp. There's a frenzy right there. That's going to be an instant hit. Oh, instant miss. Drag slipped a little. Let's tighten that up. They're popping all around me now. Multiple bites on that cast. You know these fish just aren't all that big. Oh, you foul hooked, you feel weird. No, you hooked in the mouth. There you go. We were really going down in size. I don't know where that bigger school went that we set up on when we first got here. Man, you ought to hear these shrimp popping all around me. Listen to that. Look, right here next to me. They are tiny shrimp. I mean, they're like 100 count, really small. Let's see if they're still there. There he is. Are you big enough? Another close one. No, you're not big enough. You are not big enough. You're not even close. Got a mouthful of matrix shad, I know that. That shrimp ended up in the beak of a seagull. Just how many do you want to catch? How many do you want to catch? Where'd the big boys go? If you tell me where the big boys are, I'll leave you alone. Let's see if this ATV crankbait will catch a big one. Well, not a hit on that cast, but that could be good. It could be not as attractive to the smaller fish. It's like piranha. It's like piranha. I tell you what, it's crazy. Look at that. Oh, that's a good shrimp. Looks like a white shrimp. Hard to tell, but he was pretty close to the boat. Definitely looked like a white. Long whiskers. But that was a decent size one. Maybe 60 or 70 count. Oh, look at that one. Oh, look at that. It's just almost not even fair. All right, they don't want the ATV. Must not look shrimpy. Look, right here next to the boat. That's a last year keeper. Glad I didn't get hooked in the face. I got close. The new limits are killing me today. That's all right, I'm a fan of them. How big are you, buddy? You feel pretty decent. Yeah, you do. But you're not. Between 12 and 13, like all your friends. Let's take a peek at him just to be sure, because he might make it, but I don't think he does. I think he's like 12 and 3/4. 12 and a half. I'm missing a million fish. And that's a good reminder of the importance of matching the rod to the style of fishing you're doing. This is not the right rod for this. I love this rod, absolutely love it. It's an Akuma X series, love this rod, but it's just not right for this. Just doesn't have a whole lot of flex. And with these soft mouth trout going absolutely bananas, they're easily gaining their freedom. All right, that sun's getting low. These fish are still popping all around me, but it's time for me to head on in. Kind of a weird day. Didn't go at all the way I expected, not at all. Those storms kept us from fishing what we wanted to fish. Got stuck in some other marsh. Didn't really do much of anything until we found these birds randomly here in Lake Catherine. Proves the benefit of getting on the water. Just good things happen. How long will these fish be here? I have no idea. No idea. Are these early trout? Are they late trout? I don't know. Of course, most of them are fish that are juveniles that are probably just going to stay in. But man, there's a lot of shrimp coming through here. Just amazing. Very, very glad to see it. All right, it's almost dark. The sun's getting really, really low. But I very stupidly ducked back into this other section of marsh just to see if I can catch a fish or two before I put the boat back on the trailer. Water in here is what I've been looking for all day. Wish I'd come here hours ago. Just spectacular. This is what I was hoping to find. Now let's see if it makes a difference, if we can catch a fish or two. Throw on the Zimmer swimmer again, at least for now. If nothing bites it, I'll make a switch. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. He smoked it. All right, not a bad bass. Not a bad bass at all. So good to see these guys. They were nowhere to be found last summer. Oh, had him hooked well. Really good fish. He tattooed that bait. I'll tell you what, it's amazing how important pretty water is. Definitely the best water I've found today. I think I made 2 casts, maybe 3 casts, caught that fish. Makes you wonder why you even stop to fish marginal water. But you never know you're gonna find something like this. And you don't always. But it's worth hunting for, that's for sure. Something hit some bait right there. Got a bait for you, buddy. I tell you what, got a lot of surface activity. What might work really well is a craw drug across the top. Let's see if I can dig one up. All right, got this black and blue matrix craw. I think this is gonna work, we'll see, but there's some definite surface activity going on. Super fun way to fish them. You do get a lot of blow-ups and misses, but it's fun. All you do is cast it and drag it across the top. Oh, swing and a miss. Half-hearted swing and a miss. Oh, I spooked a redfish. Dadgummit. All right, no takers on our matrix craw. Surprisingly, I really thought we'd get a bite, but we don't have a lot of time. I didn't make a lot of casts with it. Oh, I missed him. Dadgummit. That was a good hit. That was a good hit. All right, seeing some surface activity in this little cove here. Let's throw that craw in there. Oh, I missed him. That was a good hit. Oh. Oh, there we go. Is that a red? Yep, I think it's a red. I think it's a red. He smacked it. Yep, that's a red. Sure is. Beautiful red. Nice eater. If we can get him in. All right, yeah, good fish. Even with the new size restrictions, he's a keeper. All right, beautiful fish. He's about, I'm gonna say he's 19, but let's check him. He's definitely over 18. He's either 19 or 20. Yeah, our ruler's 18, he's over that, so he's probably about 20. Good eater, perfect. All right, I'm almost out of daylight and I got a little bit of a run heading back to the marina. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it. But I've got something in mind that I want to do with these fish. So stick with me. Next time you see me, I'll be in my kitchen. All right, welcome into my kitchen. It is Sunday afternoon. Actually, it's still morning, Sunday morning. Mrs. Marshman and I have just gotten back from church. And you know, a typical Sunday post-church meal for a lot of people is like pot roast or something like that. I mean, not to say we never eat that, but typically we eat fish after church on Sunday. That's what we're gonna do today. So I'm gonna show you what we're gonna make. This is a really special dish. I've never combined all these ingredients before, but I'm thinking it's gonna be really good. But let me show you what we got, what is necessary for this dish. All right, first off, we've got Chef Paul Prudhomme's Redfish Magic. You've seen me use this before. I love this stuff. Got an industrial size, really big container of this stuff. I'll try to remember to put in the video description where I get this. I use it a lot. It's really, really tasty. It's just hard to beat. In addition to that, we got a lemon. We got some Dijon mustard, got a stick of butter, and some hot sauce. I love this hawk sauce. It's kind of my go-to. Hot sauce is not an essential ingredient for this, but it just kind of makes it a little bit better. In addition to that, we've got our main ingredient, the fish. Okay, I've got my cast iron skillet over here. It is blazing hot, super important. All right, so here's redfish fillets that we caught 2 days ago. Kept these in Ziploc bags, covered with ice. Oh, that's some collard greens I got going. They're in the Instant Pot. That sound tells me that those are done. I'm gonna let those kind of just rest for a minute. Let the steam just naturally come off of those. That's gonna be part of our dish. All right, so we gotta prepare these redfish fillets. Not a whole lot goes into this. I'm gonna put just a little bit of avocado oil on them just to give the seasoning a little something to stick to. All right, I got those nice and oiled. Just gonna put a little bit of our, well, actually a fairly good amount of our Redfish Magic on our redfish. I use this stuff on all types of fish, but I really do like blackened redfish. It's probably the best blackened fish that there is. All right, here we've got our tallow. If you're a regular viewer, you've seen this before. That's what I sear all my fish in, just because it comes out so much better. And it's really healthier for you than any type of seed oil. Plus seed oil has a tendency to burn. This stuff, super high smoke point. The smoke coming off the pan is just from the hotness of the pan. Hotness? Temperature of the pan, let's say that. All right, there we go, we're all ready. My pan's actually a little bit small for these redfish fillets, but they'll shrink up a little bit, they'll be fine. All right, you know, if you've seen my channel before, when I do these catch and cooks, I often forget ingredients until I get in the midst of making the dish, and I remember, oh, yeah, I forgot that. Absolutely essential ingredient for this are eggs. I need 3 egg yolks. So I'm gonna go ahead and separate the whites from the egg yolks on these eggs. All right, there we go, there's our egg yolks. Let's check on our fish. Looks like it's getting pretty close. All right, we're gonna work on our butter. It's important that we get this butter really, really hot. So we're gonna melt it in the microwave. All right, perfect sear on these black and red fish. That's about as good as it gets. This will make a mess in your kitchen, by the way. All kind of splatter all around my stove. But it's easy to clean up. Okay, you're gonna need some kind of blender. I've got this immersion blender and this little cup thing that actually goes with a different type of blender. I'll go ahead and put my egg yolks in there. All right, our fish is done. Got to take that out. All right, we need about a tablespoon of lemon juice. I'm just gonna kind of guess. I'm gonna say this is a pretty juicy lemon, so I'm gonna go about half a lemon. I think that'll be about perfect. We'll save the other half. Go ahead and put our hawk sauce. Just a little dash. And then this Dijon. Shake that up. Okay, we'll go ahead and mix that up. All right, and this is where the hot butter comes in. We got it really, really hot. And you want to just kind of drizzle that in slowly. All right, that's perfect. Perfect consistency. And those of you who like to cook, you know that's a hollandaise sauce. You get that in a lot of really high-end restaurants, but it's super easy to make at home. And it's gonna be great on our black and red fish. All right, here's our smothered collard greens. I made those with some Barons andouille, my favorite andouille sausage. We're gonna make a base with these and put the fish right on top of that. All right, there's our black and red fish fillet on top of our collards. We're just gonna go ahead and pour some of this hollandaise over it. Look at that. Boy, is that beautiful. All right, there we go. Our finished dish. All right, that was Mrs. Marshman's plate. Here's mine. How's it look?
Looks delicious.
So how is it?
It's very good.
Is it?
Yes.
Good.
I feel like I'm eating at a 5-star restaurant.
Well, that's what the intention was. So as I mentioned, this is the first time I've ever made this. I just know that all these flavors go well together. So let's see how it is. I know it's piping hot. See the smoke coming off of it. Mmm. Very, very good. Obviously the ingredients in hollandaise are all delicious. Egg yolks, butter, lemon juice for the most part. That's kind of the base for a hollandaise. When you put that on black and red fish that's freshly caught, over smothered collard greens, does it get much better than that? Definitely a great Sunday afternoon meal. All right, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the Marshman Masson channel on YouTube. Who knows what we're gonna be doing next, but I'll definitely try and figure out a great way to cook the fish that we're so blessed to catch here in South Louisiana. All right, see you next time.